You have an inner garden. Spend your years cultivating it. You till the soil with self-improvement. You plant seeds of intention, and you water them with your daily effort. Flowers you grow are your peace, your energy, your enthusiasm for life. This garden is your most sacred space, but lately, you have noticed something is wrong. Despite all your work, the flowers are wilting. Your energy is constantly drained, even after a full night's sleep. Your peace of mind is fragile, easily shattered. Your enthusiasm for projects and passion seems to wither on the vine. You look for the cause. You scan for obvious pests, for clear enemies, for over-attacks. But you see none. The people in your inner circle, your friends, your family, your colleagues, they are all guests you have invited into your garden. They smile, they talk, they are familiar. And this is the most painful and confusing truth. The thieves of your peace are not invading monsters. They do not storm your gates with swords drawn. They are the ones you let in willingly. They are the silent thieves, the ones who drain the life from your garden so subtly that you blame the soil, the sun, or your own skills as a gardener. They operate in secret, wearing masks of friendship, of love, of help, of concern. They are the demons in your inner circle, and their greatest weapon is that you do not even see the masks they wear. They steal your peace, and you thank them for their company. They drain your energy, and you apologize for feeling tired. They plant seeds of doubt, and you question your own sanity. Today, that ends. This is not about blaming others. It is about equipping you with the sight of a master guardian. I will not teach you how to fight. I will teach you how to see. We will peel back the 5 masks, one by one. I will give you the wisdom to recognize the patterns, to identify the energy drains, and to understand the subtle games being played in your own sacred space. Because once you can see beyond the mask, the demon loses its power. Your peace is not negotiable. Your energy is not a public resource. Your garden was meant to flourish. It is time to learn the art of tending to it with the wisdom of a sovereign guardian. Let us begin by unmasking the first 2 thieves. To become a master guardian of your garden, you must first learn to recognize the most common forms of invasive species. They often come in 2 primary forms, the ones who drain your soil passively, and the ones who poison it actively. Let us unmask the first demon. This is perhaps the most widespread and most deceptive of all. Mask number 1, the chronic victim, the black hole. This person wears the mask of helplessness. Their entire identity is built upon a narrative of suffering. The world is always against them. Their boss is unfair. Their family doesn't understand. Their luck is always bad. They are a black hole for positive energy. You enter a conversation feeling good, and you leave it feeling exhausted, heavy, and strangely responsible for their unhappiness. The victim operates by hijacking your natural empathy. They do not want solutions. They want an audience for their suffering. If you offer advice, they will meet it with a list of reasons why it won't work. Yes, but if you share a success of your own, they will subtly steer the conversation back to their own problems, as if your joy is an affront to their pain. They are a silent thief because their method is so subtle. They are not aggressive. They are drowning, and they will use your energy as a life raft, without any intention of ever learning to swim. Spending time with them feels like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You give and give, but the bucket never fills, and your own garden is left parched. Now, let us turn to the second mask. While the victim drains your garden passively, this one actively poisons the well. Mask number 2, the constant critic, the well poisoner. This person wears the mask of brutal honesty or realism. They pride themselves on telling it like it is. But you must look deeper at the energy behind their words. Their true currency is negativity and judgment. The critic is the friend who greets your new, exciting idea with an immediate list of all the ways it could fail. They are the family member who spots the one tiny flaw in an achievement you are proud of. They are the colleague who frames gossip and harsh judgment of others as astute observation. They poison your garden in 2 ways. First, they directly attack your flowers, making you doubt your own worth, your own ideas, and your own accomplishments. They create an environment where it feels unsafe to be vulnerable or to celebrate your wins. Second, and more subtly, they change the very chemistry of your soil by constantly exposing you to a stream of negativity, cynicism, and judgment. Even when it's not directed at you, they lower your own vibrational state. You may find yourself becoming more cynical, more critical, more focused on the negative aspects of life without even realizing why. The critic wears a powerful mask because society often mistakes cynicism for intelligence. You must understand, it takes no strength or wisdom to tear something down. True strength lies in the courage to build things up, to see potential, and to nurture growth. The critic is not a realist. They are a gardener who has forgotten how to see flowers, and so they spend their days pointing out the weeds. You have learned to spot the victim and the critic. Their patterns, once seen, are clear. But the most dangerous thieves are not those who are obviously negative. They are the ones who infiltrate your garden wearing masks of light. Their actions seem supportive, their energy seems passionate, but the result is the same. Your flowers wilt. Let us now unmask these subtle infiltrators. Mask number 3, the Benevolent Controller, the invasive gardener. This demon wears the mask of helpfulness and care. They are the friend, the parent, the partner who is always ready with a solution, always eager to give advice, always trying to fix your life. On the surface, this appears to be an act of love, but you must pay attention to how it makes you feel. After an interaction with them, do you feel empowered, or do you feel subtly incompetent? The controller is an invasive gardener. They do not trust your ability to tend to your own garden. They see a leaf slightly out of place, and they rush in to prune it without asking. They believe they know what's best for your flowers, and they will rearrange your entire garden according to their own vision, all under the guise of "I'm just trying to help." Their true, often unconscious, need is not to help you, but to control their own anxiety. Your uncertainty makes them uncomfortable, so they try to manage your life to soothe themselves. They steal your peace by eroding your self-trust. They constantly send you the subtle message that you are not capable of making your own decisions. Over time, you begin to doubt your own intuition. You find yourself seeking their approval for every small step you take. You have, without realizing it, handed over the role of head gardener to an invader. A true friend will offer a hand when you ask for it. The controller will grab the tools from your hands and start digging where they see fit. Next, we have a mask that is not subtle in its energy, but in its deceptive allure. It can be mistaken for passion, for excitement, for a life lived to the fullest. Mask number 4, the emotional storm, the hurricane. This person wears the mask of drama and intensity. Their life is a constant series of exhilarating highs and devastating lows. There is always a crisis, always a feud, always a grand romantic gesture, always a terrible betrayal. They are a hurricane of emotion, and they are addicted to the energy of chaos. They do not steal your peace with malice. They simply destroy it as collateral damage. When the hurricane enters your garden, they bring their entire storm with them. They demand your immediate attention for their latest crisis. They expect you to ride their emotional roller coaster, to be the stable ground in their earthquake, to be the calm harbor for their tempestuous seas. They make their problems the center of your universe. The danger of the hurricane is that their energy can be captivating. Their stories are exciting. Their passion can feel like a powerful life force, but it is a destructive force. While you are busy helping them rebuild after their latest self-inflicted storm, your own garden is being neglected. The winds of their drama uproot your calm. The rain of their chaos floods your soil. You will find that your life with them is never about cultivating your garden. It is always about surviving their weather. They are not a guest in your garden. They are a natural disaster that visits so frequently you start to mistake it for the climate. You can now see the victim, the critic, the controller, and the storm. But there is one final mask, and it is perhaps the most insidious because it wears the face of reciprocity. But it is a master of illusion. It is the perfect camouflage for a thief. Mask number 5, the transactional taker, the parasite. This person operates under the unspoken law of what can you do for me. Their friendship is a ledger of accounts, and they are always looking to be on the profitable side of the transaction. They wear the mask of a friend, a collaborator, or even a fan, but their energy is that of a parasite. You will notice a clear pattern. They appear in your garden when your flowers are in full bloom, when you have a success, a new opportunity, or a surge of creative energy. They are the first to call, the first to offer congratulations, the first to suggest ways they can collaborate. They are masters of subtle flattery and creating a sense of urgency or obligation. But when your garden is in a season of drought, when you are facing a challenge, when you are feeling low, when you have nothing tangible to offer, they are nowhere to be found. Calls go unanswered. Messages are left unread. The silence is deafening. They leave you feeling not just tired, but weeds, as if you were a resource that has been mined and then abandoned. They do not steal your peace with drama or criticism. They steal it by making you question the very nature of genuine connection. Unmasking these 5 demons is the first and most critical step. Sight is the beginning of power, but sight alone is not enough. A guardian who only watches as their garden is overrun is not a guardian at all. It is time to stop just identifying the thieves and start building your fortress. This is the most crucial part of our work together. This is where you transition from victim to sovereign. You will build an inner fortress, not of anger or stone, but of consciousness and wisdom. It has 3 primary lines of defense. The first is the watchtower of awareness. Every fortress begins with a watchtower. This is your ability to see an intruder from a distance, long before they reach your gates. In practice, this means you learn to trust your own energetic feedback. You begin to notice the subtle shifts within yourself during and after interactions. You feel the slight drain after a phone call with the victim. You notice the sting of the critic's backhanded compliment. You feel the subtle pressure to justify yourself after speaking with the controller. Your body is your watchtower. It tells you when your peace is being threatened. Do not ignore its signals. The second line of defense is the mode of non-engagement. Once the watchtower spots a potential intruder, your first instinct may be to fire the cannons, to argue, to defend, to attack. This is a waste of your precious energy. The wisest first defense is the mode of non-engagement. It is the art of letting the provocation fall into the water without ever reaching your walls. When the critic throws a judgmental comment, you do not catch it and analyze it. You let it fall into the moat and sink. You do not argue. You do not justify. You can offer a simple, "I see," or nothing at all. When the victim begins their litany of complaints, you do not dive into the moat to save them. You can listen with detachment, but you do not absorb their state. When the emotional storm rages, you do not become a part of the storm. Non-engagement means you refuse to let their chaos become your chaos. You are the calm, deep water of the moat, and their provocations are just stones that make a brief ripple and then disappear. But sometimes, an intruder is persistent. They will try to cross the moat. This is when they meet the third line of defense. The walls of firm boundaries. A boundary is not a wall of anger. It is not an ultimatum shouted in frustration. That is a weak, crumbling wall built from reaction. A true boundary is a calm, clear, pre-decided line around your garden. It is a statement of what you will and will not accept, communicated with quiet strength and without apology. It sounds like this. To the controller: "I appreciate your perspective, but this is my decision to make." To the victim: "I have the space to listen for 10 more minutes, but then I need to return to my own priorities." To the storm: "I can see you are overwhelmed right now. I cannot have this conversation while the energy is this intense. Let us speak tomorrow." To the taker: "I am not able to offer my energy to that right now." Notice, these statements are clean. There is no long explanation. There is no guilt. They are not attacks on the other person. They are simply declarations of where your garden begins and ends. Your fortress is not a prison to keep you isolated. It is a sanctuary that allows your garden to flourish. Protected from invasion, it creates a space so sacred that the only people who can enter are those who know how to honor it. You have built your fortress. Your watchtower is vigilant, your moat is calm, and your walls are firm. You can now effectively protect your garden from invasion. This is a profound achievement. For most, this is where the work ends. But for those who seek true mastery, there is one final, subtle layer. Building a fortress protects you, but it can also make you hard. You can become so focused on defense that you begin to live in a state of constant vigilance, seeing potential threats everywhere. You may protect your peace, but you lose your softness. Your fortress becomes a prison of resentment. The final chapter of this manual is about dissolving the armor of anger and learning to guard your garden from a place of unshakable inner peace. This is the art of compassionate detachment. This is the master level of this practice. It is composed of one core philosophical shift. You must learn to see the pattern, not the person. The person behind the mask, the victim, the critic, the controller is not your enemy. They are a prisoner of their own patterns. Their behavior is not a conscious, malicious attack on you. It is a deeply conditioned, unconscious strategy they have developed to try and get their needs met, a need for attention, for control, for a sense of importance. Their strategy is dysfunctional, but the need behind it is human. When the critic attacks you, the master guardian does not see a person attacking them. They see a person who is deeply insecure and whose only way to feel powerful is to make others feel small. When the victim drains you, the master sees a person so disconnected from their own inner power that they must siphon it from others to feel alive. When you can see the mask as the problem and not the person wearing it, something inside you shifts. The personal sting of their behavior dissolves. You no longer take it as a reflection of your worth. You see it for what it is, a reflection of their inner struggle. This shift allows you to practice the ultimate protective art, wishing them well, from a distance. Compassionate detachment is not cold indifference. It is a warm, empathetic understanding that their path is not your path. You can genuinely hope they find peace, while simultaneously refusing to let their chaos become your own. It is the ability to say, with no anger in your heart, I see your struggle, and I honor it. But my sacred duty is to my own garden, and I will not allow your struggle to destroy what I have cultivated. This is the difference between a guard and a guardian. A guard operates from fear and sees enemies everywhere. A guardian operates from a place of strength and love. First and foremost, a love for the sacred space they are protecting. When you reach this level, your boundaries are no longer delivered with a sharp edge of resentment. They are delivered with a soft, unshakable clarity. Your no is not a rejection of them, but a deep affirmation of your own well-being. People will begin to feel the shift. They will feel the firm, loving strength of your presence, and they will intuitively understand where your garden begins and ends without a fight. You no longer need to live in a fortress of stone. Your very presence becomes the protective boundary. Your peace becomes so deep and so radiant that it naturally repels chaos. You become a sanctuary, not by fighting the world, but by mastering yourself. This is the ultimate goal, not just to have a peaceful garden, but to become a peaceful gardener. And so, the manual is at heat. We have journeyed together through the deceptive landscape of the inner circle. We have peeled back the masks of the victim, the critic, the controller, the storm, and the taker. You have learned not only to see them, but to build your fortress of awareness, non-engagement, and firm boundaries. And finally, you have been shown the path of the Master Guardian, the path of compassionate detachment, where you learn to protect your peace without losing your heart. The most important truth to take away from our time together is this. You are not a victim of these energy thieves. You have never been. You have simply been an unconscious participant. You were a gardener who did not know how to identify the weeds, and so you allowed them to grow among your flowers. Now, you know. Now, you can see. The power has always been in your peace of mind is the most fertile soil you will ever own. It is the ground from which all your joy, creativity, and well-being grows. It is your most sacred territory, and you are its sovereign guardian. Your first and most important duty is to protect it, not with anger, not with resentment, but with the quiet, unshakable strength of a master who knows their own worth. The world will always be full of people wearing masks. You cannot change that, but you can, from this day forward, decide that your garden is no longer a public park. The work is not to change them, the work is to choose yourself. The space below this video is not just for comments. Think of it as a quiet corner of your garden, where you plant the first seed of a new intention, a commitment to yourself. So, My question to you is this. Your peace is your most sacred territory. What is the first, small boundary you will reinforce this week to protect it? You do not need a grand wall tomorrow. You just need to place one stone correctly today. Perhaps it's limiting a phone call with a victim to 10 minutes. Perhaps it's responding to a critic's comment with a simple "I see," and nothing more. Perhaps it's saying no to a taker, calmly and without guilt. Share that one small commitment with us. Let this space be a testament to the day you chose to become the guardian your garden has been waiting for. Work begins now.